livelife.com and the founder of Live Light Academy on livelight.ca, and I'm here today with another negativity fast reflection for those of us who are fasting from negativity as we approach Easter in 2024. Yeah, I dropped off some flowers for my mom and her husband. It was their anniversary this week, and they were visiting with a friend of ours who, we've known for probably 30 years, right? And so he comes around the corner and says, I knew that voice. And I thought he said something. I thought he said I had a face for radio, and so I I didn't take offense. I've been told that before, but I after a while I realized, I've got a voice for radio, and it's like, oh wow, that's quite the compliment. Anyway, I'm laughing because yes, I do these in black and white, and yes, I gotta tell you, I think I mainly do it because I enjoy it. I like it. I like the look. I stop and look. And I was on TikTok the other day, and I saw that if you turn your phone to black and white, you scroll less on TikTok. You don't find it as interesting. You spend less time. And like, hey, that's a good thing. I should do that. So I turned my phone to black and white, and I suddenly looked at my stats, and I was spending way more time on TikTok because while studies show people don't like black and white, I am an outlier, and I like that ebb and flow. I like that I like the look. I do. I like it. And it's a practical look because, and I'll tell you, honestly, I do have a blotchiness all over my face, and it's harder to see when it's black and white. I am under the care of a dermatologist. I go on regular visits. Sometimes I have surgery and biopsies and all those kind of things, and I've been live casting with all of that stuff happening too. But it's part of it is I think I look better than showing you my actual color. But another part is, it doesn't matter how many people watch live, we still have this as a podcast, and a lot of people listen to it as well. So I want to get to today's reflection, and I'll get back, and I do have a few things to say about this reflection as well. So today is day 44. I pursue the presence of God. Today is day 44. I pursue the presence of God. I pursue the presence of God. I learned his unforced rhythms of grace. It's his presence that distinguishes me from all the people of the earth. I know that he is in me and around me and upon me and before me and behind me. I feel him all around me, and I wait for him to speak to my spirit. Question we can reflect on is, have I waited in his presence lately? I passionately pursue the presence of God. That statement comes, well, maybe not passionately, but pursue the presence of God. Brother Lawrence was an 11th century Carmelite monk. He might have been a 13th century. You can do a search for his book online, and you can download it. It's a free PDF in several locations, and it's called Practicing the Presence of God. And what Brother Lawrence did was he saw value in bringing God into the day-to-day of every day. So while he was washing those dishes, he did it as unto the Lord, and he felt God's presence on it. As he was sweeping that floor, he felt the presence of God because, he brought him into this. And, one of the humbling things I find coming out of my mouth often is I pray for my family, pray for myself, and I'll say, Lord, I thank you that you are always with us. Help me to be with you today. And it's making space to understand he is there. There's different rhythms we can incorporate in our lives, like down through the years. The ancients have brought in different rhythms, and I'm working on another course that I'm working on is Live Light with his rhythms. And one of them is Statio, S-A-T-A-I-O, Statio. And what is Statio? I think it's taking time. It's basically making space. It's you arrive early wherever you're going so that you can pray about what you're going to do there. You Selah is that pause that we see in the Psalms. We think it means pause, reflect. You can have Selah moments where it's just like, oh yeah, God, you are here. God is always with us. Are you with him? When we live this way, it's not pie in the sky and the sweet by and by. It's actually the way that he guides our steps. It's actually the way that he keeps us from harm and keeps us from evil and keeps us from doing harm and keeps us from being evil. When we, when this relationship with God becomes more than, I said a prayer back in early 2000s and got wet in some tank. But this relationship becomes real. And yeah, if I'm going to get along with my wife, I'm going to spend time with my wife. I'm going to listen to my wife. I'm going to hear what my wife says. I'm going to share my thoughts with my wife. Same is true with God. Like, yeah. My wife's not God and God's not my wife. And I agree. Well, she doesn't agree all the time, but she doesn't agree that that's a good thing. But, I think it's a good thing that they're different. But the same principle applies. Like if we don't make it flippant that, oh yeah, it's me and Jesus, and what am I trying to say? We can become too comfortable with him, and so we don't do it because we think that makes us too comfortable with him. But it's actually the exact opposite. When you practice the presence of God, when you passionately pursue his presence in your life, in his presence is fullness of joy. In his presence, we find peace and rest, holiness, reverence, transformation and renewal, provision, protection, love, compassion, and fullness of joy in his presence. Why aren't we trying to be in his presence all the time? You were created to walk with God in the garden in the cool of the day. And sin came into the world and you bore the consequences. But Jesus came and took your place and offered you his yoke that is easy and his burden that is light. You're a child of God. Creation longs to be revealed. You are a living light. Don't conform, but be transformed so you can have peace and hope and joy at all times and in every situation. Eternity starts now. It's not for when you die or Jesus comes back. It's now. Now he is with us. Now we can be with him. So the question stands. When was the last time you passionately pursued his presence? And by passionately pursue, I mean slow down enough and just wait on him. To be still and know that he is God. I think I'm talking to myself here. I really do, because I've had a lot on the plate. I've got a lot of boxes to check. I got so many things to do, and I was creating something. I sent out an email this morning, and that email thought, oh, I should create this tool as a tool so I can do a video for this tool so that I can do this for the next campaign. And it's just like, no, I realized in the midst of all that, it's like I needed to be still and know that He is God. Okay, God, what do you want me to do? Well, sending out the email was the priority for me because I want to encourage people on my email list, so that got out. Creating this tool so that people can look at it and say, oh yeah, that's what I need to do. I can do that later. Doing up the video from that tool so that that can all be done later. What did it say when Jesus was in Bethany with Lazarus and Mary and Martha? When Martha came in to complain, and Jesus said, Mary has chosen the better. He knew He wasn't always going to be with them. And Mary had just anointed His feet. And she was going to be spending as much time as she could with Him. You and I aren't under that pressure, and so sometimes we get comfortable with a certain level of God's presence in our life, which means it just is ever decreasing. Because I've told you before, spiritual things, the more you do, the easier it is to do. The less you do, the harder it is to do. So if you don't stop and wait and pause to enjoy the presence of God, it becomes harder and harder and harder to do. You will convince yourself you never can if you don't start training yourself to do it. Start retraining yourself. What did Jesus tell the church in Revelation? Like there's 7 churches. What did He tell the church in Ephesus? He says, this is what I hold against you. You have forsaken your first love. Repent and return and do the things you did at first. What was it like when you were a brand new baby Christian? How exciting was it to open up His Word? How exciting was it to meet new people and hear their stories and get excited about Jesus for what He's doing in their lives? What about the maybe your journey didn't start that way. You just put your hand up and wow, I'm in, and you got wet, and there was never a time for that transformation to really take hold. But then gradually over time and over the years, transformation has slowly taken place. Don't negate that either. That is God's work in you. But understand, there was a time, probably, that you felt closer to God than you have ever felt before. What were you doing? How can you recreate that in any way, shape, or form? It might not be possible. I used to fast from food for a long time. Now I'm on medication that if I fast, it really messes up my stomach. If I don't have food in my stomach, I can't do what I did before. But I can pause and be still and know that He is God. Will you do that today? Will you take some time just to be still and know that He is God? Let Him remind you that you will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. So be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. Know that, anyway, I could go on, but I do need to, it's already YouTube likes 10-minute videos, and I'm already at 15 minutes, and I haven't even got to the negativity fast. It is wrapping up here as we go, day 44 already. Only 3 days left before Easter, before, Good Friday is tomorrow. Is it? It's Good Friday's tomorrow. Today's Monday, Thursday. The night Jesus washed his disciples' feet and was betrayed. But anyway, you can sign up for the fast and do the fast whenever you want. The sale will be on for this weekend, and it's $7 at revtrep.link/fast. You get lifetime access to the negativity fast. That's 47 days of devotionals and 47 days of reflections when you go to revtrep.link/fast. Also, all of this is in book form, and maybe that's the best way you learn, or maybe you want to get together with a group of people and you go through a book. So that is the Live Light Above the Negativity, Reflections and Devotionals. It's available on Amazon. Easiest way to find it is revtrep.link/books, and then you'll be magically taken to whatever Amazon store you buy from, wherever you are in the world. Also, I do have tips that are available to answer the questions that people have given me over the 18 years that we've run this course. And so the tips and tools to fast from negativity are free on livelight.ca. Get to it by going to revtrep.link/tips. And you can get all those there. And finally, we do have a Live Light Above the Negativity course that if you go to revtrep.link/bless, you get the sale price up until the Monday. I was going to say Easter Monday. Easter Monday's a made-up holiday. It's like Mother's Day and Father's Day. It's like, if you got it, enjoy it. I don't get it, so I can probably take that day to take some coupons off here. So revtrep.link/bless. Check that out and find all the things that are available for you there. Finally, I am working on another 14-week every weekday series that I'm going to be doing up. So if you are on YouTube and you haven't subscribed and set notifications, go to revtrep.com/TV. Or if you're on Facebook, like and set notifications at revtrep.com/FB. Or if you just listen to podcasts, you can subscribe wherever you listen at revtrep.com/radio. So I don't know. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm finishing up the Live Light with Your Whole Heart course, and when that gets done, well, I've also got a whole series planned where you get all kinds of tips and tools that I haven't been able to fit into the course, so they're all extras. Not all of them, but most of them are, and there's some really good ones in there. And so I'm personally looking forward to doing that series. And I'll let you know as soon as I know when I can do that. Anyway, take care. God bless. I will be back tomorrow with another negativity fast reflection. All the best. I forgot to say happy Maundy Thursday. And now I will be gone.